Hello everyone, it's Salt Rider here and welcome to another video. And as it's the 1st of July, we're exactly halfway through this year. Crazy, right? Crazy that we're halfway through 2021. But as we're halfway through, I thought it'd be good to have a look back at some of the toys that I've picked up this year and let you know the best. These are figures that don't necessarily have to have come out this year, but I've picked them up this year. And this list isn't in any particular order, but I'd say that the top two are probably the best purchases I've picked up this year. So we're going to start off with probably the most expensive thing I bought, and that is Bumblebee Movie 3.8 Optimus Prime or 3.0 Optimus Prime. A beautiful, beautiful figure. This was actually bought by, paid for by a collection when I left my previous workplace, so that's why it means a bit more. I wanted to get something nice and special with it. And this figure is just stunning. It's beautiful. It's great to be at the centrepiece of any collection. I really, really love it. And it means a lot more that it was paid for by a collection of people who cared about and represents my time at that workplace. So that's definitely up there with one of the best things I've picked up this year. And while we're talking at the more high-end stuff, let's talk about the Meteor or the Make Toys Starscream. I picked up this from my mate John. He threw in the Starscream head to come with the latest masterpiece version of Optimus Prime. I bought an adapter for it and now I've kind of customised it into my perfect Starscream. The Mackie Toys version, and it does a great job for me. Really cool figure, and if you don't want to pay the money for the masterpiece version, I recommend picking up this one, but I'm not quite sure what the prices go for. On the second-hand market, John did me an amazing deal. So next up was a gift from Exin Ferris, and it's Cybershark. Now, I've picked up more Beast Wars stuff this year, and I remember having this figure a while back in a lot. It was missing a lot of pieces, but I remember being really blown away by that face sculpt. And when Exin Ferris or Shell sent it through to me, you know, I love this figure, and I play about with it, and my son plays about with it, and it's a load of fun, right? It's daft, completely daft. He's got a shark tail and a shark head in his hand. It's parts forming. It's everything that you should dislike about a Transformer, but in a way, it just looks cool. It looks cool. I don't mind parts forming, but you know, this thing is pretty cool, and I'm happy to have him in my collection again. Even though he was only here for a short time and I didn't appreciate him before, it means more that it was a gift. So thank you very much for that. Now the next up has to be probably one of the bargains of the year. It is the Lanyard Toys Predator collection. I've got this and the City Hunter, both much of a muchness, for £10. An amazing figure. Scales all right with your NECA figures. Really, really happy to have picked up these. And yeah, it could do with a little bit better paint and all that, but the sculpt is there, the articulation's there. It's a really, really nice figure. So yeah, I'm really happy to have that figure in my collection. Next up, another Beast Wars figure, or a Kingdom figure. This is Beast Wars Megatron. I know a lot of people dislike this figure because of some of the panels on it, but I think this is a great representation of Megatron. I did kind of want the masterpiece, but ever since having this, I don't. I think it does the job. I'm not that much into Beast Wars where I need every version, and this is the definitive version of this Megatron for my collection. And now he's even on sale a lot of places where you can pick him in for less than 40 quid, which is an amazing deal. Yeah, he's got his faults, but you know what? I absolutely love this thing, and I'm really, really tempted to pick up that repaint, the Jurassic Park repaint that's coming up soon. So I'm really, really happy to have this, and definitely one of my favourite pickups this year. Now, I've bought a lot of Black Series, but none of them actually really stuck out for me as, oh my god, that's the pinnacle figure I've picked up this year. But one figure I picked up which did plug a hole was Dengar. He was the only bounty hunter I needed to finish my Empire Strikes Back bounty hunters. And my mate Scott sorted him out for me at a decent price. So I'm really, really happy to have him. It definitely is one I'm really happy, and the one that sticks out to me is filling a hole in the collection. So Dengar is definitely another figure that I'm happy to have picked up this year. Another figure that I'm really, really happy to have picked up is Earthrise Thrust. I picked up this guy earlier this year, and really, really happy to have done it. I thought I was going to miss out on him. I paid over the odds for him, but after me and Brad had a conversation and collaboration about, you know, Brad paid for it and he goes, you know, we can afford it and it'll stop all the anguish, and it did. And one thing that I've been relieved about is that he hasn't gone on sale anywhere else. I paid the money for him, and yeah, I might have gone a $5 cheaper or something like that, but it's still in the ballpark of what I paid, and it finishes my G1 Seekers now. I don't need a full representation, a full cast again of Seekers. This will do me fine at this scale. So I'm really, really happy to have picked up Thrust. Now, G.I. Joe Classified, I've been picking up a few of those figures, but I think the absolute pinnacle of those figures I've picked up this year, and the line as a whole, has to be Major Blood. I think this figure, the sculpt on it, yeah, the colours aren't the most boldest, but that face sculpt, it oozes Solid Snake to me, from Metal Gear Solid, Solid 4, I think it is. It might have been Phantom Pack, one of them's anyway. It reminds me of Snake with the eye patch and all that kind of stuff. The sculpt is stunning. His accessories are really good. I love his revolver as well there. Yeah, the missiles fall out the backpack, which is a little bit annoying, but this figure is definitely one of the best ones I've picked up this year. So on to the best two figures I've picked up this year, and it had to be from Studio Series 86. Second place, Grimlock. This is probably the best mainline Grimlock we've had. I think it beats the Masterpiece version. I know people moaned he didn't come with a sword and all of that stuff, and yeah, he hasn't got any front teeth on his dinosaur mode, but you know what, this thing is amazing. Its size blew me away when I opened it up, and I'm really over the moon to actually have this in my collection, a decent short Grimlock, and the other Dinobots are on the way. We know Slag is on the way, or Slug. We know there's reports of Sludge as well. Swoop will happen, probably at Voyager scale. Finally going to have a decent representation of my Dinobots. So I'm really, really happy to have Grimlock in there. And the best figure I've picked up this year is probably one of the best Transformers I own. And I think it's going to be up there come the end of the year. It is Studio Series 86 Hot Rod. This thing is magnificent. This thing is, as I say, up there with the best Transformers we have ever had. At the price point, the engineering, the detail, how good it looks in both modes, the accessories, you cannot fault this thing. It is amazing, and I'll go out there and say this is the best toy I've picked up this year, and I'll be shocked if something beats it. I really, really will. Now, there are some other toys obviously that's going to be coming out, so it'd be interesting to compare back in 6 months' time when I do the best toys of 2021, to see if any of these or if all of these still make the list. I think some of the things that might force their way into the top 10 for me are things like the other Studio Series 86 figures, Commander Class Rodimus and Leader Class Galvatron from Kingdom, but we will see. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Until next time, I've been Zork Rider, and I'll catch you again really soon.